Yes, welcome to the Jamaica Young Police channel. We at the Jamaica Young Police channel are not in bed with any criminal organization or political parties in Jamaica, whether the JLP LGBTQ plus government or the PNP LGBTQ plus party. And our reasons for not aligning ourselves with them, because they are both political organizations pretending, and the fact is that they are criminal organization. They are not a political organization. They are political, but their modus operandi, standard of operation, they're just criminal organization. So I want you to know, that you have some people, especially former police officer, they like to compare both political parties and say that this one is that, and but I can say for a fact that both political parties are not the same. They differ in different ways in terms of their criminality, and one must be balanced in their rhetoric and use facts. But I can tell you this for a fact that the only time ever in the history of Jamaica, since independence or even before independence, that a judge has been assassinated in Jamaica. Yes, I know that most of you don't even know or even remember. Yes, we had a judge, a high court judge, was assassinated in 1987, November 14, 1987. And the judge name is DERRICK. And you're looking right at the man right there. Yeah, Comrade DANHAI Williams. It is alleged that he's the one that sent men to dirt the High Court judge, DERRICK, in Jamaica. And he has never been questioned by detectives. And here's why. The investigating officer who was investigating the murder case, Detective Sergeant Oswald Hears, is a very close friend and confidant of DANHAI Williams. So if you were involved in such a crime, that once the people them that you have hired, that's a detective right there, dangerous police officer. That once the detective who's investigating the matter is your friend, that you're covered. So that's what happened with DANHAI Williams. So hitmen came for DERRICK on November 14, 1987. His partial, nude, lifeless body from the waist down and lying spread eagle on the green grass of a Springfield on Sea residence in the wee hours of a beastly November morning, threw the legal fraternity into a state of utter numbness and shock. The man who had fallen prey to this ugly murder on November 14, 1987 was the acting registrar of the Supreme Court of Jamaica, 47 years old, DERRICK, resident magistrate and former Crown Counsel of the Office of Director of Prosecutions. Hugh's murder typified callousness. The court heard how he was forced to open his bedroom door near dawn, then dragged unceremoniously outside by one of two masked gunmen who delivered the chilling message that he had been contracted to kill him and ordered to kill him to go downstairs and get his passport. And guess what? That the driver who took these men to go to kill the judge, it was three of them, It's a policeman, and the policeman had a M16 rifle, waiting to kill the man them after waiting on the men after they kill the judge to kill them. And what saved the men he fell asleep, he fall asleep. The police. Did you know who was the contractor who would hire the hitmen to kill the judge? Yes, He is Renita Adams' friend. 2. One of Jamaica's most prominent PNP LGBTQ+ activists and supporter. And he has at least 50% of the police hierarchy in his pocket. Even the great revere Renita Adams. The court later heard that when you reportedly begged the gunman to allow him to put on his underwear, the spine-tingling response was, "Come on, where are you going? You don't need any clothes." That's how wicked these gunmen were now. As the graphic details of the murder unfolded, the court also heard that after receiving 2 gunshots and in the throes of death, Hugh hurled himself from the first floor through a closed louver window, shattering the glass and ending up on top of a vehicle parked under the window below before hitting the ground. The man accused of Hugh murder was Trevor Bennett, O.C. Bulgin. Bulgin, a labourer from East Kingston who appeared before Justice Lloyd Ellis, now deceased, and the jury in the Circuit Court Division of the Gun Court in Kingston. The trial lasted 3 days. The murder had led the morning news, bringing several members of the legal fraternity to the crime scene. Most expressed shocked and dismay. Early on the scene was Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of crime, Sam McKay, and investigators. You, well known as an hard worker and a man who liked to deal with matters with dispatch. You know, it's a man who don't like to delay with things. Very meticulous man. Never met him, but heard, senior detectives spoke highly of him. But that they said that he was, he was a pung guy. That's what they say, I never met the guy, but that's what they say. So that's why they let him spread eagle, because they want it to look like he's one of his gay lovers, send somebody to kill him. Yeah, because they know his modus operandi and his taste or the rectum, you understand? That's his speciality. He was known for taking home files to review to get things done faster. Speculation was rife that he had opened a Pandora's box in one case, leading to his demise. He had a file of the popular East Kingston businessman who has many police officers as friends and has connection to people within the legal fraternity, and the information was leaked to the businessman, and it was on for Derrick Hugh's life. At first, they wanted to kill him in a manner to make it look like it was his lover, as it was rumored that he was, that he was a rear admiral, him love round there, meaning that the man was gay and not a straight man. I don't know the man or anything about his lifestyle. On the evening before the gunman came calling Hugh was reportedly in high spirit, and staff recalled that he left the office wearing his customary beaming smile. No one could have known it would be the last time they saw him alive. The house at Springfield on Sea, a faint but distinctive relic of old East Kingston, was a two-story structure facing the seaside. Hugh occupied the upper floor while his mother and sister occupied the ground floor. A balcony on the upper floor overlooked the blue Caribbean Sea, and one could sit and enjoy the sea breeze and the sheer tranquility of the moment from the lofty perch. So it's why the man live in a rich people settings that I live the life. The circuit court heard evidence from David Wilby, a visitor who had arrived on the island the very day of Hugh's murder and who had been asleep in a room upstairs adjoining Hugh's, had been awakened around 3 a.m. by two masked gunmen in his room. One had a gun at his back and the other had a gun at his ears. So the man, them two men, them stick him up, ready for blow off him head. The gunman flipped him over on the bed. Then one remarked, "No man, it's the wrong man." So they had a photograph of you, so they know who they come to kill. So, when they turn him, when Lukey and Trevor turn him, and Bulgin turn him, them say, "No, this is not the man." They pull him off the bed and march him to Hugh's room, where Hughes was persuaded to open the door. Wilby and Hugh were ordered to lie on the floor, and Bennett left to guard them. According to Wilby, the other gunman left and returned shortly after. Mrs. Hugh, the deceased mother, she cried and she begged him not to hurt her son, and she fell to the floor. Bennett threatened to shoot Mrs. Hugh if she did not keep quiet, to which the other gunman replied, "All right, man, we get paid for kill him already." So, Lukey was still bulging, "Hey, we get paid for kill the judge. We not kill the woman." This man then left the room with Hugh. Wilby told the judge and the juror he noticed that Bennett then began searching the drawers in the room looking for money and jewelry. During this process, the witness discovered that the mask kept slipping from his face, thus enabling the witness to get a good look at his face. Suddenly, gunshot rang out from downstairs. He said Bennett jumped over him and Mrs. Hugh fled the scene. At an identification parade, he later pointed out Bennett as one of two masked gunmen who entered Hugh's home that morning. The forensics pathologist, Dr. Royston Clifford, who performed the post-mortem examination on Hugh's body, testified that upon investigation he found an entrance gunshot wound behind the right ear, which went almost vertically downward inside the right lung. So the judge never stand a chance. He also found a second gunshot entrance wound in the left clavicle at the level of the left collarbone, which traveled through the left chest cavity, left lung, the ascending aorta through the right lung, and lodged in the muscle of the lower right lateral chest. In his opinion, the witness told the court death was due to gunshot wounds. The police fingerprint experts testified that they found prints on some glass louver blades removed from an upstairs window of the house, resting on the roof. These fingerprints on the louver blades matched those of Trevor Bennett O.C. Bulgin. On December 21st, 1987, Detective Sergeant Oswald here, that's the man right there you're looking at, that is DANHAI Williams' best friend, told the court he saw Bennett at the flying squad headquarters in Kingston. He had known him for 9 years, and Bennett indicated that he wanted to tell him something. He took Bennett to the officer in charge of investigation, Superintendent Donald Brown, now ACP retired. Yeah, that's Walcott Brown. Boy, the man, them really riot attack on him and shot him. Walcott Brown was investigating a drug case, coke, involving with Owen Clooney and Harry Daly and some coke from Portland. And the man, them just sent a man and shot him and take him 45 and read the riot act to him, and the man just resigned himself. Just take him retirement from the police force and go work at the BOG. So I don't know what them tell him after them shot him. And we never hear anything about the case. What was the outcome of the case with that how much Kia coke that was missing. But I mean, I tell you, Jamaica that, that's one of them things there. The defense represented by Terence Ballantyne and Paul Beswick objected to this statement being admitted into evidence. After voice DR proceeding and in-camera trial, the trial judge ruled the statement admissible. It was tendered in evidence by Miss Paul Llewellyn, QC, now Director of Public Prosecution, who marshaled the Crown's case. In the statement, Bennett related how he walked in a gully at about 2 a.m. on November 14, 1987. At the time, I was at the Jamaica Police Academy. 2 a.m. And when he saw one Lukey and told him he had no money, Lukey had a gun and told him he was going to a house at the beach where some foreigners stayed. He walked with Lukey to the premises. Lukey told him he knew where they could get some, and he decided to go. So you don't put on nothing and a man tell you say no, you have to get money in a night and you go. So you must know say a crime you are commit, and number one, Lukey and you, mix up man in a crime. Lukey went on the roof and he, the accused, removed some loofah blades, and they both entered the building. In the statement, he did not admit it having a gun, but he agreed with Wilby testimony and what transpired inside the house. A particular PNP LGBTQ plus police officer stationed at East Kingston Division took Trevor Bennett, OC Bulgy, Lukey and the other man to a location and resident of Mr. Derrick HUGH. What happened is the police officer who was supposed to kill the man after they killed the judge was to kill the killer. Still, he fell asleep in the waiting position with an M16 rifle. Thus, the men, when leaving the house, had to find their way back to Burger/McGregor Gully. When the police officer woke up, it was getting close to sunrise, and he went to Burger/McGregor Gully, where he took Lukey to Jungle Arnett Garden, Kingston 12, to cool out and know where Lukey was hiding. Men like Mello from Concrete Jungle played an integral role in hiding Lukey. Yeah, because Lukey was staying over the next pathway from my pathway where the police them kill him. As a result of the information gleaned from the same police officer, flying squad detectives were dispatched by Senior Superintendent Dick Ebert to Arnett Gardens to capture the named suspect, Lukey Campbell. So the thing is that, all the police knew that Lukey Campbell was there. Remember, it's a policeman carry Lukey, to Jungle to cool out, That's a done named Mello in a Concrete Jungle. Everybody at PNP and comrade, you understand? And so the policeman left Lukey there, and then he went back and tell Ear where Lukey was. Remember, Ear and DANHAI Williams is friend, so them have to dust out Lukey, because if you might go talk, but you can't say Trevor Bennett Bulging never talk. Step the rap and and go prison and just go on here. You sisters recounted for the court how after she heard a commotion in the house earlier that fateful morning, she opened her bedroom door and saw a gunman holding her brother by his neck. She started to shout and the gunman fired at her, and the shots caught her in both arms. And the man in a brigadista, Her brother was shot by the gunman and jumped through a window, shattering the glass louver. He landed on a van parked under the window, then fell beside the van, dead. The gunman escaped. In his defense, Bennett repeated much of what he had said in the statement given to the police. He added that he had been set up because he had screeched, that means him inform, and some of his colleagues to the police in a previous robbery case. He lost his job and had no money for his baby food because the police held him then. Those same men, he told the court, had threatened to kill him in the gully, but they afterward decided that he, Bennett, should accompany them on the HUGH robbery. He got inside the house and woke up Wilby, who was visiting. This is how Bennett described the events leading to HUGH's tragic and untimely death. Lukey, that's the man that, Luki asked the man who else was there, and he said another man was in the other room. But in this house, sir, what I saw was not likely to be a robbery. What I saw in the place did not look like a robbery. I would not know what they were going for if it were a robbery. The approach to me was that it was a robbery, but it did not. Looks like it was. But when I saw some books on the law of Jamaica, that is the time I get to realize that it may be someone from the council or a bar or a lawyer or someone living there. He then looked the man into Mr. Hugh's room. So you take the man Wilby into Derrick Hugh's room and ask him for the books. It must be a passport book. Show me your passport. What's going on at this time? An old lady came upstairs afterwards and asked, what have my son done? Luke replied, your son for dead. He then put the old lady to sit down, and she said, Lord of mercy upon us, and the things like that. He told her to stop making loud noises, and she said, what has he done? What has he done? He has done nothing, she replied to her. He replied to her, we get paid for kill him. Him a go dead. In his detail and source statement, Bennett said he had nothing to do with Hugh's death. But the juror found otherwise and judged him guilty as charged. An appeal was lodged with the local court of appeal. The appellant was represented by Delroy Chuck, the great Delroy Chuck, the man with 8 police in him. There's no criminal murderer where that man don't like. The appellant was represented by Delroy Chuck, who filed the argue on main ground of appeal that the learned trial judge failed to impress upon the jury that if, after a review of all the evidence, they are left in reasonable doubt as to the guilt of the accused, then they must acquit. In particular, the burden and standard of proof have not been properly explained and presented to the jury. The court held inter alia, among other things, that the trial judge direction emphasized to the jury the Crown's duty to satisfy them so that they feel sure that the accused has no such burden if they disbelieve or were in doubt. They could not convict is, in our view, adequate. The Court of Appeal noted that, in their view, the case for the appellant was defended because he was not a part of common design and had no intention to kill. He said his companion had a gun, and the Crown's case was that both had guns. So he wanted to, distance himself. I never have no gun, an imaginary gun he had. Whilst the people that said that they saw him with a gun. That's Trevor Bennett bulging. The judgment continues. Since no grounds of appeal was filed relating to common design, the court asked Mr. Chuck if he had any submission. He indicated that he had given such a ground of appeal some consideration, but had concluded that the Crown's case was overwhelming as the applicant had put himself on the scene, and in the circumstances, any submission would be a waste of time. As a result, the court concluded that in his case, the applicant Bennett was aware and ought to have been that the plan was not robbery but murder. Despite this, he remained on guard and did not attempt to leave or remove himself from the scene before the commission of the murder. In our judgment, he was in this case a part of common design. Everybody went there with the same purpose, just to kill the judge, which was to execute Mr. Hugh. For these reasons, the application for leave to appeal is refused. The Court of Appeal ruled. So you must be asking yourself what passport the hitman wanted from the judge. It was a book, had the names of the suspected criminals in Jamaica And one of them is your notorious PNP LGBTQ plus businessman from East Kingston, DANHAI Williams, who has some of the most popular police officers and politicians in his pocket because of money. When Derrick Hugh died, the case died with him, and some of the most esteemed detectives in Jamaica are close confidants and friends with this businessman. When I was working at Unsby Police Station, Kingston Level, I was one of the detectives who have never rubbed shoulder with this businessman because I had known about his deeds and connection in the criminal underworld. Even at one time, the same businessman and an high-ranking police officer who had his friend wanted to kill a detective inspector at East Kingston Division, and your great politician Philip Powell is a member of parliament for the era where these parasites operate. The businessman was never arrested and charged with any crimes regarding the judge's killing. Still, he was later arrested and charged with fraud, and he was exonerated by the court because Jamaica is a PNP LGBTQ plus country. Before the great St. Andrew Holiness becomes Prime Minister, the businessman is DANHAI Williams, a PNP LGBTQ plus activist and supporter. It was the taxpayers' money he had stolen, and the court freed him. As in Jamaica, PNP LGBTQ plus activists or party members are immune from the laws of Jamaica, and it was the same thing with Kern Spencer's case on April 28th in the corporate area resident magistrate court. All charges against him and 6 other persons for allegedly defrauding the National Housing Development Corporation $451 million were dropped. Williams walked free after 2 Crown witnesses failed to show, bringing the curtains down on a trial that began in October 2005. Williams had been charged with 87 counts of fraud 2 years earlier, that was in 2003. Williams seems to revel in court appearance. His flamboyant outfits were complemented by flashes, SUVs, and the presence of his girlfriend, former dancehall queen Colleen Smith. I don't know if she have any kid for him, but you saw money can corrupt people. No morals, no ethics, money. Them sleep with anybody for money. Whether or not you want to believe it, he has more influence over members of the police force than any other person in Jamaica because of money. And police officers can't be trusted with information about this man and others like him. There was a detective who wanted to be killed, and he was transferred from Kingston Eastern Division to St. Andrew South. He was shot in the head by another detective, as it was a hit too. So DANHAI Williams then them wanted to kill a detective named Derrick Powell, Detective Inspector Derrick Powell. For some reason he had some falling out with DANHAI Williams and some gunmen in Rockfort, some done. And they transferred him to Unsby, and the word was that they're supposed to kill him. And his friend Ox and Cowboy, they were a Friday night. I was in the office. I knew of the hit that was on him. I don't think that he knew, Derrick Powell knew that there was a hit on him, because he thought that he and them were cool, because everybody there are all comrades. Powell is from my community of Jonestown. But the Friday night when he was shot, if it wasn't for the people at White Wing, he would be dead. Because when Anthony Roberts shot him, there was nobody. But when Anthony Roberts shot him, that's when Ox and the others them start to fire shot like it was a shootout. And the people them start to scream out that it's not a shootout and the police shot him. So they had to take him to the hospital. They didn't finish him, because they thought that he would die. They thought that that Derrick Powell was dead, and he survived and he's alive. But that's police, police shooting another police because they were paid by DANHAI Williams to kill him. I don't know if Derrick Powell and them are friends, but I know that one of DANHAI Williams' friend and Powell is still friends. So I don't know. But as for me, in my circle is small, it's a dot. You don't know who to trust. So I don't know what he had done when he was at Rockfort with DANHAI Williams and Philip Powell, why they wanted to kill him. But I knew when he was transferred to South, they sent him straight to Olympic Garden. And you know, criminal, once you're on the street, criminals going to tell you things, you know. And I have spoken to him, but I never asked Powell, Derrick Powell, you know, I never asked him. But the only thing I know that when he was shot, I know that HUGH said that HUGH and Knight, both of them said that that Powell was an informer, that he used to, you know, take news to Tony with about them. That's what I heard, because I was at Unveiled. So they wanted to definitely kill him, because HUGH said that he, you know, Powell was an informer. Well, you know, they're gonna say, "Ah, no, it's lie. You shouldn't have lied, man." That's all, you know. But if you can't show me an honest criminal, show me one. So it's a police in there to try to kill this man. You understand? So Lukey Campbell, he was killing Jungle next door. You know, the part where I'm from. You know, they came, and the same police who took him there is the same police that led the police them there. They come kill him. So criminals, you know, once you're involved in a criminality and police, just remember, man, you know, your end is going to be bitter. Because it's the same person who took Lukey to Jungle, is the same person that took the flying squad detective them there and then just dust him up, because they know, you know, if they take him in and he's going to talk. But he was a brigadista, but Trevor Bulgin Bennett was a more seasoned and more militant than Lukey Campbell. He can't withstand any kind of torture or anything like that. Because the man, they are a real brigadista. The man, they can build a bomb. Because he was taught, you know, by the Cubans and the Russians. You know, this is a man who went to South America and fight, you know, with the socialists them over there. Well experienced. But he took the rap and, you know, went to prison, came out a few years ago. But he was on death row for years, you know. And that's why the PNP, they did not hang anyone after they won, Michael Manley won in 1989 election. Because he was on death row. And, you know, he was prized to the PNP. You know, they didn't give him a hero's welcome when he came out on parole. You know, because I think he's still on, Trevor Bennett Bulgin is still on parole. And he's somewhere, you know, in East Kingston still, you know, big man, suppose in his early 60s or, you know, going to 70. But he has been around the block. But Lukey is no longer here. The other policeman, he was kicked out of the police force by Colonel Trevor McMillan, the policeman who was supposed to dirt Lukey, Bulgin and the other man. You know, that's how it is. You know, there it is. You know, there's no honest criminals. You know, and the reason why I have to make this video this long is because of some of the viewers. They complain, like when I do the video 15 minutes, 20 people, you know, they get upset. Say I must just give it to them, you know, and because they're. I used to use a certain, you know, word, you know, to describe people, you know, with short attention span, and those people were very adamant and disgusted by it, and they said, no, not we, you're talking to other, you know, other people and stuff. So I just give it to you guys, you know, you guys want all of it one time instead of in pieces, so I just give it to you guys, you know, that's how it is. Yeah, if this is your first time to the channel and you haven't subscribed to the channel as yet, yeah, this is the time to subscribe. Subscribe, hit the bell, select all, so that whenever we at the Jamaica Young Police channel release a video, you'll be the first to get it. Like the video. Share the video. Share the video with your friends, your co-worker, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your uncle, even your grandmother. I don't remember all of these things. And I said, wait, this man, I don't know all of them things. Yes, man, because I'm a Kingston and I'm a good detective. So when I was serving in the police force. Thanks for watching the Jamaica Young Police channel, where you will get nothing but facts about events that happen in Jamaica. So just remember to comment so we know what you're thinking, what your thoughts. Have yourself a beautiful day and all the best to you. Jamaica Young Police channel out. One love and all the best. Peace.